Ring with DJ D.
Yes, it is. It's time to get in the ring here with DJ D. Kooks here. We're back!
Yes, he had he had a revival, if you will.
Oh, the revival was real.
Yeah, and now he's back and he's in
after
full form.
a month's hiatus.
Yeah,
we're back.
He had to come back. We woke up to snow today, which I think kind of caught a lot of people off guard. It is a snowy Friday, January 6, 2017. We're in the new year now.
2017, too sweet, baby.
Yes, a 2-tweet start to 17. We got Wrestlw Kingdom to get to. We got a couple weeks of WWE to look back on.
A month's worth of WWE.
Yeah, and we got a lot of stuff to work into. So
year-end awards. I don't think we're all going to get it done, but probably not.
We'll see.
Because Wrestlw Kingdom is the main topic.
There's a lot to digest with Wrestlw Kingdom, so we might as well get into it. Let's get into it. Obviously, as it normally does, it takes place on January the 4th. The English commentary team, Carino and Kelly, were very good.
They were very good. Let's just go top to bottom, because there's a lot of points with this event that started at the top, and then we can work our way down. A little different. We're doing it in reverse order, but
because normally we like to build up to the main events.
But the main event was so awesome in this show.
It was the last 4 matches all could have main evented any particular show at any particular time of the year, and they were big time. So let's get into it.
Oh my God, this was the spectacle.
Okada versus Omega right off the bat. That closed the show for the title.
We had the sprint, the fight, the story, and this was the spectacle, as Joe Lanza perfectly put it in his VoicesOfWrestling.com review. I suggest everybody read the yearbook from Voices of Wrestling. We're not affiliated with Voices of Wrestling, but we think they're a great site, and they're friends of the show. So this review was awesome, but more awesome was the match.
It is a match you should go back to see. You should find a way to go see it. It was to the point where you got WWE guys tweeting about Cesaro and Rollins
and Bryan
and Daniel Bryan. Like they tweeted about this thing. This was special, and we figured that Omega would have the match of his life because this was the stage he had to have it on. And my thinking was like, okay, Omega's either going to sink or swim on this stage, and he swam like Michael Phelps. That is how well he did in this particular match.
Swam like Michael Phelps, swam more like a monster.
Yeah,
My God, he is so great.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point. He was so... There were so many spots in this match, like the plancha that... The somersault he did...
The back body drop into the...
No, before that, he flew over the barricade when he flew.
The golden triangle moonsault, which Kota Ibushi did 5 hours before. There are subtleties.
Yes.
This gets me excited.
Yeah.
This gets me pumped. This gets me fired up. This gets me juiced up. Because this was the greatest match I have ever seen in my life.
Now, he said this last year.
I said this last year, and I didn't think it would be topped. And my God, Kenny Omega had the greatest one-man performance in wrestling history.
It was special what he did.
It was special. It was flawless. It was his selling, his insane bumps, his precise attacking of Okada's back, his execution.
I love the psychology.
The emoting, the balance, the pace, the stamina, his presence, his guts, his effort, his will. All that said in the Voice of Wrestling review, but I don't care. This was amazing.
And
I'm exuding as much passion as Kenny Omega put in that match.
And not even selling short what Okada did. Because
Okada
took some terrifying bumps. That suplex.
Dragon suplex.
I
never want to see that again, but I was so glad it was in this match.
I thought he broke his neck when I saw it. I was like, whoa.
What?
He laid on, you can see, he laid on the back of his head. I was like, oh no. Like, he laid on the back of his head and his head compacted with the ring. I was like, ooh.
You thought this match was going to...
broke his neck.
I thought legitimately the match was going to end the first Rainmaker.
Yeah.
I hopped out of my seat. I was like, this match is good enough. And then Omega kicks out.
Omega kicks out and keeps going.
And then the gear just ramps.
And I love the psychology that they built. They kept building to the one-winged angel. And Omega and Okada doing everything he can. Some of the greatest defense you'll ever see in wrestling.
The deliberate pace early. The pace.
Yeah. And it kicked up 20 minutes in. It kicked up 20 minutes in.
Kicked up 20 minutes in, but the deliberate pace early set up the insane, unruly, ungodly pace they did in the last
frantic
half.
10 minutes. The frantic last 10 minutes where all Omega is trying to do is the one-winged angel, and Okada finds 3 or 4 ways to counter it. And even Omega did a Rainmaker at some point, it was just like you couldn't believe it was amazing. And then the sequence where a one-winged angel was countered into a tombstone by Okada, and Okada jumped into it. It was like, whoa!
He did like a 360. He did a 180.
He did a 180 tombstone. It's like, okay, what? All right, we stepped it up this far.
Mind blown.
It was a thrilling match. Okada retains the championship, and for the second straight year.
It was spectacular. It was something out of a movie. You couldn't perfect this match in WWE 2K17.
There's nothing
you
can change about this
try
match.
to. My God, this was.
You don't change anything about this match.
No,
you changed absolutely nothing. There was nothing to change. It was for the second straight year. Okada fights back the winner of a G1, which Tanahashi obviously was last year. But it was a tremendous way to kind of start the new year as Okada wins once again at the signature event. And it's quickly becoming the ace of the company.
I want to read this last paragraph from the Voices of Wrestling review. It really sums up what was this match. The work was perfect. The drama was intense. The action was insane. The loser was elevated in defeat.
Sure was.
The match ticked every box and delivered on every medal. I have zero doubt that Kenny Omega, the most driven man in wrestling, the insane genius, the perfect, beautiful enigma, in the biggest match of his life, in the moment he waited his entire career for, was bound and determined to produce the greatest pro wrestling match of all time. I don't know if it was, but I can't say for certain that it wasn't either. 5 stars.
Yes.
And Meltzer did the ungodly thing. Rated it 6.
He stepped it up a higher notch, and I'm not going to disagree with him with his thought process and rating it that high. There was there's nothing I take back from it. There's nothing I would like to have changed from it. The strategy, the psychology, the work, and the bumps were just ridiculous. There's nothing I would have done differently from this match. I think Okada was the right guy to win it. I thought it was perfectly fine.
It was pure lunacy.
It was
pure lunacy. It was pure passion. It was pure emotion. It was pure everything that company up in Connecticut cannot do. They
have their moments at times, but they
cannot do
on their biggest stages. They haven't gone this hard in a few years. I will say that on their WrestleMania stage, they haven't gone this hard.
Yeah,
in a few years.
This was incredible.
I mean, they've gone this hard in other matches and other levels, but they haven't gone this hard on their biggest stage in a couple of years.
And this was New Japan's biggest stage yet.
Yeah,
and these 4 matches delivered in almost rising order in like this crescendo.
Yep.
It was incredible. And we get to Tanahashi Naito.
Now, this was a very good co-main event. And you could argue part of it may have been passing of torch from Tanahashi to Naito. Part of it may have been Tanahashi's... all the legwork, too. I love the psychology in this match differently because of the legwork that both guys did to each other. And how they did everything they could to make sure that the other couldn't walk. I thought that was a special point in the match.
This was the story match. This was Tanahashi, the delusional old man.
And still trying to defend the prestige and honor that was the Intercontinental Championship. And the fact that Naito is kind of rewriting the book on how to be a heel and how to be... rewriting the book on how to be a heel A and how to kind of like carry himself as the IC champion.
And then And then there's so many good stuff. The legwork.
Yeah.
The psychology.
Yeah.
I thought the finishing stretch was very good.
Yeah. Naito knows the high fly flow is coming. And he gets hit with it on the back the first time, and in the second time, okay, he knows it's coming. He still gets his knees up and kind of sacrifices his knees to eat the high fly flow, which threw Tanahashi off his game and led to the finish. And it was... I thought that was a really cool part of it as well. And Naito stepped his game up higher. And he's really becoming a bigger player. And he's had a tremendous... Pretty much since Wrestle Kingdom last year, he's had a tremendous last calendar year. So, well done for Naito to retain the title.
We're entering exciting new territory with our old ace. A new theme, which stinks, by the way.
It's awful.
Go Ace!
It's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible.
And it isn't going to grow on me.
Nope.
It isn't going to grow on anybody.
Nope.
This theme is awful.
Yeah.
The theme is awful.
It's not very good. No, it's not.
Which is worse, that theme or Ravungi Vice?
And for those of y'all who don't remember, I can't stand for Punky Vice's theme because there's no flow to it. This isn't as bad as that, but this is pretty terrible.
Yeah. And a stubborn refusal to accept that he's lost a step with a hokey, subconsciously manufactured bravado to go along with it.
Yeah, no kidding.
The story here is he's good enough to be competent and beat most of these dudes, but at age 40, he's not quite good enough to beat the 1%. It's a hard reality to accept, but we all know a guy like this, and he will probably buy his new Corvette in his driveway and girlfriend who's about 5 years too young for him. Corvettes haven't been hip in a long time. Neither has been this goofy remix version of High Energy. Like Corvette, the lyrics, Go Ace, reek of overcompensation, like he's trying to convince himself. I knew Tanahashi was losing the moment he was hamming it up pre-match. He was playing the road of tilt. A man deep down couldn't convince himself he's really the ace. So he desperately tries to convince everyone else, but Naito wasn't buying it. And at the end, the pounding up, you did good, kid.
Yeah.
And the show of respect. Oh my god, that was so good storytelling.
And the audience, you can see the tears coming from the audience because of Tanahashi losing. You could see like a lot of the female fans, a lot of the other fans were crying in the crowd. It was like, wow, like they couldn't believe that Tanahashi would lose the way that he did. But this was highly entertaining.
Then we had Hiroki Goto defeating Katsuyori Shibata to win the Never Openweight Championship.
Finally, Hiroki Goto gets the signature win that he's needed for a long, long time. He finally gets it. Unlike Honda, who got his signature win in G1 in 2015, Goto needed it because of the stage that he was put on after losing G1 final last year, and his build up. He finally gets there. You think he can't win the big one. He finally does it, and in the way he did it, going against probably the toughest man in wrestling right now in Shibata, who, again, like another thing as I said before, defense would have been insulting, and this wrestled at Shibata's pace, and Goto kept moving at Shibata's pace, considering their battles over the years. This was a very good way to go.
This was unbelievably stiff.
Yep.
Hard hitting.
It was
the
violent.
Fight of the four.
It was violent of the four. It was a very physical match. A lot of headshots, a lot of headbutts, because what Shibata matches without headbutts? And Goto finally getting it done on a stage, and the crowd went nuclear as he got it done. It was a tremendous build up for Goto to get this win, and Goto as Never Openweight Champion, I think will serve it very well.
I thought this match was awesome. I loved the Ushigurashi Shotenkai wasn't enough. He had new wrinkles, busting out the reverse GTR to Shibata, and then because he can MFer.
Yep.
He freaking. We'll talk about MFers in a match later.
Yeah, there's another match in this show that was not G-rated.
No,
it was not G-rated.
No, this match
or PG-rated. It was very not PG.
Very not. But we'll get to that later. Yeah. Actually, in a couple matches, actually. But this was awesome. 4 3/4.
Yeah.
Tanahashi Naito, 4 3/4. You see the theme. And then the recklessness.
Yes.
The sprint.
Takahashi versus Kushida for the junior. I enjoyed this match very much.
I thought Hiromu was going to kill himself on so many levels.
No kidding. There were some spots like he tried the Hurricanrana spot from the inside of the out, and from the apron out. It was like, okay, this is gonna end horribly. He semi botched it. And I'm kind of glad he did because I shudder to think how this would have landed had he gone perfectly. This was chaotic. It was nuts. They went all over the place, and their styles fit pretty well. And I kind of like this Takahashi change. I kind of like this whole heel character he's playing off in New Japan. I think it's a good look for him. Takahashi, I think, will serve the Junior Heavyweight Championship very well. And I would love to see what he's going to do going forward with a lot of these other Junior Heavyweights in this division, in this stage of this game.
You have your 5 base Junior Heavyweights are Dragon Lee.
Yep. Takahashi,
Will Ospreay,
Kushida,
and Ricochet.
Those are your 5.
My God.
The 5 of them are going to put on classics.
My God.
In any combination of the 5, they're going to put on classics. It's going to be... They're going to do tremendous stuff with this title over this year.
My God. This title is going to be awesome. And what happened at New Year's Dash was awesome, too. Toriano and Tomohiro Ishii defeated God and Great Bash Heel. I hate you, MFer. F you. Eat blank you, blank hole. Blank.
This match was not PG rated and was hilarious. So first off, it started, before we even get to the match, Yano and Ishii carried out the belts and the trophies, and neither things belonged to them.
No.
So that's how this began. I think it was God who came in as the champions. The Guerrillas of Destiny came in as champions, and the trophies didn't belong to them. Didn't belong to Guerrillas of Destiny. So they had all the stuff, and it broke down
into Guerrillas of Destiny versus Great Bash Heel.
Yeah,
which was supposed to be originally, and then Yano would slip in.
And Yano steals the match with the double of blows. As
Yano literally killed all momentum in this match.
I think that was the point of Yano. I think that's the point of what Yano was doing, was to...
it's not supposed to mean I'm supposed to like it.
As many monkey wrenches as he could throw into this match, I think that was the whole goal and end game of Yano, and it worked out tremendously well. So Ishii lets Yano carry up all the stuff. They still don't own the trophies, but they do own the tag team championships. So it was a good night for them. And the chase for all these possessions
still
continued.
A 3.5-star match.
No, it was still solid, and the language it was just hilarious.
I was cackling at the 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like,
Carino was too. And Carino called
Carino was cackling too.
He called the match. He even turned off his microphone for 2 minutes because he was laughing so hard.
I hate you.
It was so good. It was so funny. This was great. Okay, so Adam Cole makes some history, becoming the first 3-time Ring of Honor World Champion.
And Kyle O'Reilly did not sign his contract. That's why this happened.
As Cole putting one of those signature stamps on this rivalry that they've had for years and years and years. So Cole wins the title, getting the World Title Championship back to Bullet Club, and it was an entertaining match, but I understand why it didn't go as hard as the other matches we talked about earlier. Simply because Ring of Honor, I think it needs to be them that has that signature moment of this rivalry.
Yeah. I thought Final Battle was the signature moment, though.
Yeah, so for O'Reilly finally winning the championship, I think that was like like Dolph beating Miz in No Mercy and then Miz winning the title back. I think that's what that was. I think that made a lot of sense.
Cody defeated Juice Robinson.
And I like this Cody. I like this heel. Yeah, he's arrogant and he's pompous like he was with Dashing, but he's arrogant, pompous, and adds entitlement to it as part of the Bullet Club. And his beef with Carino and his beef with everyone else, not in Bullet Club, I think made a whole lot of sense. They're dropping the Rhodes thing, even though we know it's Cody Rhodes. But I think it makes sense. Still, I think Brandy should still do the ring announcing. I think she should still do the ring announcing for New Japan and Ring of Honor. I think that would add even more flair and even more entitlement to it. I think that would make it a whole lot more sense. But it was a good match. Juice Robinson did his part. He did a solid job trying to put on Cody. I think it made a lot of sense. So Juice Robinson did his thing. I want to see more from him going forward as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. 3.5 stars. The Cole O'Reilly got 3.5 for me too. Then we had LIJ defeating Chaos, Bullet Club, and the random-ass team of Satoshi Kojima, Ricochet, and David Finlay.
This was a gauntlet match for the never openweight 6-man championships. A belt that routinely changes hands. There's never been like a stable champion in this group.
No, it's not meant to be that.
No.
It's not meant to be.
Yep, it works as LIJ, who Carino could not pronounce until the win for Goto. No, it was the win for Naito. He couldn't pronounce their entire name. He finally got it. It was well done on Carino's part to finally get it at the end. But LIJ getting it done, and apparently it's an evil year. Apparently, the year of evil, I suppose. So they get it done. So well done on their part. They were the last team to come in. They came in fresh and they did their thing.
Yes. And then Roppongi Vice defeating the Young Bucks.
A bit of a surprise. I was not expecting the Roppongi Vice.
I loved this match.
I liked it too. And Trent Beretta, how you're walking today after that giant spot was crazy.
Yeah, that's a mystery.
yeah. He did the Tope con Hilo over and splat. Like, remember Kurt Angle off the cage? That's what that reminded me of. When Angle moonsaulted off the cage and missed, that's what that reminded me of. How high he went and then how hard he landed. It was ooh. That's how that sounded. But it was a bit shocking that Roppongi Vice ended up winning the match the way they did. That was it looked like what am I thinking of? Not Beretta, but it looked like the Bucks were gonna finish the job with death by super kick. And it just didn't
Romero.
It looked like it was gonna be. There's a RIP right here as I read. Look it up in the article. But it looked like Romero was gonna get death by super kick, and instead. Beretta made the save so Romero could get the pin and get the title. So, but it was an entertaining match.
Yeah, more bang for your buck. And then Rocky Schoolboy Nick for the win.
Yep.
Then Tiger Mask W defeated Tiger the Dark.
Of all the matches here, this is probably the least entertaining, but it was still decent. It was still productive. It still accomplished what they needed to, minus ripping off the mask. So I think it was a solid way to go.
Yeah, that was solid. And then the old guy Rumble, Mike Elgin ends up winning.
Ironically, old guy, and ironically, Elgin wins it. Although I think Elgin probably was the right guy to win it. Yeah, it was kind of the old guy.
But this was fun.
Yeah,
Kunyaki Kobayashi.
Yeah, it wasn't too serious.
Doing flip stuff with Liger and Tiger Mask, and then Hiro Saito.
It came down to Elgin and Cheeseburger, I believe it was.
Yes.
And Elgin would pin Cheeseburger after his turnbuckle bomb, and then Elgin's signature.
Scott Norton murdered Taguchi.
Yeah, it was.
That was pretty violent. God, that was murder.
That was pretty violent.
That powerbomb.
Yeah, that powerbomb was pretty violent. So that would be the end of it. I like and the way Liger got pinned, I thought was pretty cool. How Liger I think he had the surfboard, and then he got his shoulders pinned in the mat somehow, which was that was pretty creative. So all in all, a tremendous show that got better as it went along. I will say for Wrestlw Kingdom, that was there.
And then Nakanishi got pinned by everybody, and it took the 100 pounds of cheeseburger
to kind of put the cherry on top of it.
With the cherry on top,
so
because 100 pounds of cheeseburger does that. But then we get to New Year Dash, which was the following night, and some major angles were shot.
This is kind of effectively Wrestlw Kingdom ends New Japan's year, and then New Year's Dash effectively starts it. So
it's the Raw after Mania.
Effectively, that's what it is. Yeah.
The first match was Kyle O'Reilly, David Finlay, Ricochet defeating Jushin Liger, Hinare, and Tiger Mask in a good match. Then Yujiro, Hangman Page defeated Yoshitatsu and Billy Gunn, and they shot an angle with Billy Gunn and Kiyomiya, one of the Young Lions.
Okay.
And they're going to do a program with Billy Gunn and this Young Lion.
So Billy kind of show him the ropes. All right, yeah. Let's see.
Chaos defeated Bullet Club. It was Yoshihashi and the Roppongi Vice versus the Cole and the Bucks. Then we had Team 2000. Yes! That Team 2000! NWO Japan! Too sweet! This is the closest thing you're gonna get to NWO versus Bullet Club! Scott Norton, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Satoshi Kojima, Hiro Saito, and Cheeseburger, who's over in Japan, of course.
Yeah, he is.
versus the Bullet Club of Kenny Omega, Gorilla's Destiny, Bad Luck Fale, and Bone Soldier. This was awesome.
You got all those names, and then Bone Soldier at the end is like, ooh, yeah, he's got to. I guess we got to.
Yeah, they didn't put him in the Yoshidatsu match, but thank God, no one wants Yoshidatsu versus Bone Soldier.
Interesting. Yeah,
no,
that sounds disappointing.
But then.
Mike Elgin, Kushida, they beat Naito and Takahashi.
And after this match, Dragon Lee appeared, and he declaring he wants to challenge Takahashi for his belt.
He wants to continue this war that they've had all over the country, all over the globe. They this war that they've had. Yeah, I want to see more of that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do more of that.
And then Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Hama, Katsuyori Shibata, Yuji Nagata, and Juice Robinson defeated Chaos of Okada, Ishii, Goto, and a few other. I think it was Okada, Ishii. Let me see who the other two were. Ospreay and I gotta see who was the
fifth guy.
Who the fifth guy was? I knew it was Ospreay.
So yeah, while he's doing that, we should also mention Kenny Omega is going to take some time to, I guess, heal.
Yeah, take some time to heal.
Yeah, he's going to take some time to get right. After the classic he put on, I think that's fine. I see no issue with this.
Yeah, he's going to take some time.
I mean, it's not like it's going to kill his momentum, because considering how well he did, it's just
Yano.
Yano was okay. It's just a time for I think Omega to take a month, take a couple weeks, and get right, and then get fresh and get back.
It was right there. I'm an idiot.
It really was right there. But yeah, it'll take time to get right, and then he'll be back. I'm sure gunning for Okada and the championship.
The first thing was Juice Robinson pitting Hiroki Goto to set up a never openweight title match, and then the big angle. Suzuki Gun
returns.
Davey Boy Smith Jr., Lance Archer, Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, Takeshi Iizuka, Minoru Suzuki, and Taka Michinoku
arrived for the big beatdown.
Taichi and Taka laid out Roppongi Vice Color. Elite Squad laid out Yano. Okada came, but then Minoru Suzuki came and
laid him out quickly with the Gotch pile driver. So
basically, what we're dealing with here, we got factions everywhere. So the captain from Wrestlw Kingdom, it was what? There were 10 matches in total.
LIJ won 3.
LIJ won 3. Chaos won 3. Bullet Club won 2. There was 1 neutral, and then one by the New Japan. So there it is.
So Suzuki Gun is back,
and now Suzuki Gun's back in the building. Now we have 5 factions. We have the New Japan faction, Suzuki Gun faction, Bullet Club, Chaos, and LIJ.
Yep. And that was New Year Dash. WW.
So I want to go back.
Yeah. Then never openweight championship. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Manabu Nakanishi, and Ryusuke Taguchi defeat the champions of Sanada, Evil, and Bushi. So Hiroshi Tanahashi is a champion in New Japan.
There you go.
Go Ace!
There you have it. He still wins the belt.
But it's the worthless belt.
Yeah, it's not the belt. Yeah, it's
not the belt you think he'd win.
It's not the belt you think, right? So, how far you want to go back to WWE? How far you want to go back with it?
What was the last Raw pay-per-view?
Roadblock. That was the last pay-per-view of the year.
Roadblock end of the line.
All right, so we'll start with Roadblock end of the line. All right, so it kicked off with New Day. New Day versus the Cesaro and Sheamus, as New Day had just broken the record for the Tag Team Championship reign, and this one was one of my favorite. In terms of the males, this was my favorite match of the evening. I really did enjoy this match from start to finish. They really did. They put in work. They truly did. Does
anyone want to remember Rusev versus Big Cass?
Except for Cass dominating the match, no.
It was horrendous.
Yeah. But this was a tremendous match. I think if New Day were going to lose the titles, I'm glad they lost it this way. And so the way Cesaro and Sheamus pulled it off, the teamwork and the chemistry, this is a Team Hell No revisited type of thing, clearly. But I thought they did a tremendous job. They really did. And with the non-tag that Sheamus put on, the Sheamus and Cesaro did, or Cesaro did, and completely read Kofi Kingston, it was a tremendous read.
Let's
by
go
Cesaro.
for Raw. Let's do Roadblock and then the aftermath.
Okay, of all the main players. Okay.
Of all the main players.
Fair enough. So Cesaro and Sheamus win the tag titles, and then they immediately change the belts over. And with Cesaro and Sheamus, they have withstood the rematch of New Day, and now it's just a matter of where Cesaro and Sheamus go from here because they haven't really established.
It's probably going to be Anderson Gallows.
It probably will be Anderson and Gallows, but they haven't. Other than them, they haven't really established any other challengers. Zayn and Strowman.
Braun!
Strowman has really stepped his game up, and apparently he's working with Big Show, as far as I've heard. If
he's growing on me,
and
I love Braun.
Yeah, seriously, that doesn't get old.
No, it doesn't.
Strowman has stepped his game up immensely, and it's really established.
I'm going to lose my voice for this show. My God.
See what happens when you do that.
Braun!
He still goes with it. Strowman, Sami Zayn somehow...
I was on the verge of yelling during the Okada Omega match, but I needed to. I needed to mark out, my friends.
Strowman allowed Zayn to survive. I can't believe how Sami survived 10 minutes with Braun, the way that Braun was basically ripping his head off.
And then we'll get to Braun later in the main event scene, but then the last man standing match.
With Zayn, it was crazy. It was bananas how Strowman once again dominated, and Zayn did everything he could to withstand it, but too much Strowman. Strowman was just too big and too strong, and it basically ripped Zayn apart. So good look for Braun there. For beating Zayn at the last man standing, but Zayn did survive the 10 minutes with him.
Seth Rollins defeated Chris Jericho in an average match.
Solid, productive. It accomplished its point. Nothing special happened here, but there's still a solid match for Rollins and Jericho.
Yeah, I'd go 3 3/4.
Yeah, something like that. The triple threat with the cruiserweights, Swan, he pinned Perkins to win the title to retain it, but it wasn't special. What happened after it, however, was nice. The return of Neville, but not just the return of Neville. Neville is a heel. A more vicious, a more violent, a more ruthless, a more cunning Neville. And I enjoy this. And Neville on 205 Live, so take it there, has become the best heel in the division, surpassing Kendrick. And he has beaten Perkins and Swan in one-on-one, so you know Neville's going to get a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship. And he's done a tremendous job, and revitalizing the superplex as a finisher is actually also awesome. The way he does like a delayed version of it is legit, too. So Neville's really re-energized the Cruiserweight division to some degree.
Yes, I agree. Charlotte defeated Sasha Banks 3-2. Oh, it took overtime.
Yep.
Iron Man match. I thought it was very good.
I thought it was entertaining. This was I think the best match of the night.
Easily.
It really didn't. It was good from start to finish. I love that it built up for the first 10 minutes or for the first 15 minutes or so, and then the falls came in. I thought it made sense considering how evenly paced and evenly matched these two women were and have been in this rivalry. I thought they ended the way it should have. Charlotte has become a big game, big match player, male or female, and you could easily put her in the top 5 of WWE wrestlers this year, male and female. I think Charlotte is of last year. And she's done very good with the Women's Championship, and as a 4-time Women's Champion, I think she's warranted it. I think she deserves that. 15-0 at pay-per-views last year, or 16-0. Well, 15-1, the one was a tag match. So Charlotte has won every pay-per-view in a singles style. Very impressive, Charlotte.
Yeah, I thought it was very solid. Nothing more, nothing less, honestly. I gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
What would you give it?
I'm okay with the 4 1/4 because I give the tag match 4. So I'm okay with that.
And then the Universal Championship disaster.
It wasn't that the match wasn't awful. It wasn't that both guys.
The first 10 minutes was awful.
The first 10 minutes was pretty unwatchable. As they got a flow into it, it turned out fine. It was
more Reigns' fault than Owens.
Yeah, it turned out fine once they got into it, once they got the flow into it, once they got going. And then everything was okay until Jericho stepped his nose in it again and gave the code-breaker to Owens, which was a cleverly laid plan to keep Owens with the title, but it was still just not very good. It was still
and
not
then
very good
it started with Owens and Jericho arguing on Raws. And then we get to this week.
Yep, Rollins gave a beatdown. Rollins and Reigns gave out beatdowns to Jericho and Owens at the end of the pay-per-view, both going through tables with double power bombs.
There was a tag match the next night, right?
There was the next night. It was the announcement of Owens and Reigns for the title, but this time Jericho's locked in the cage.
Right.
So that was the signature.
That's your Rumble match, my friends.
That's the Rumble title match. Jericho's locked in the cage, and then Owens and Reigns are going to fight for the title. So that's the Raw main event, effectively. Let's see. I think it was the tag match where that was the tag match, and Strowman interfered and destroyed Rollins and Reigns because Strowman, in between the Last Man Standing and the Roadblock match, Strowman basically ripped everybody apart because he was so determined to finish off Sami Zayn, and Mick wouldn't let it happen. So Stephanie made him wait a couple weeks to get to the Last Man Standing. So Zayn first ripped up Sin Cara and Titus O'Neil. He ripped up Cruiserweights and then ripped through Reigns and Rollins, as established himself as a main event player, and I think he needs to be because Strowman's really been on his game the last few weeks. Women's division wise, we saw Charlotte start her thing with Bayley, and I think I love the way they're building this up. Bayley as the underdog, Charlotte as the dominant champion that she's been over the last year. Whenever she's held the title, I think that's a good way to build this up, and we're going to get some sort of a payoff. As Bayley did beat Nia Jax with a little bit of help with Sasha. We'll get to Nia and Sasha in a few moments. Bayley wins that match to go to the Rumble to face Charlotte. Now, I mentioned Nia. Nia and Charlotte kind of done each other's bidding at points, and Nia dealt with Sasha as we saw Sasha wanted to congratulate Charlotte on winning the match and winning the title. You can see a noticeable limp and knee brace after the figure eight, how long Sasha had to withstand the figure eight in both the end of the regulation and the OT of Roadblock's match. And we saw Nia completely pick the bones and try to rip Sasha's leg from the displacement. So that was entertaining in that sense, that we'd see Nia versus Sasha. I think that's going to make a lot of sense there. As for the tag match, championship, I kind of explained that already with Cesaro and Sheamus. It looks like Anderson Gallows are going to do that. New Day have kind of dropped out of the tag team picture, not that they need the belts, but they've dumped into the Royal Rumble. Apparently all three guys are going to be in it, so that's going to be interesting how the New Day operates in the Royal Rumble match. Lastly, Enzo got beat up in that sensitivity training thing and has been in a very hilarious wheelchair, which left Cass to go it alone on some matches. He lost the handicap with Jinder and Rusev, who's apparently a tag team now. So that happened. Jericho lost the U.S. Championship match with Roman Reigns with some hilarious Eddie Guerrero flow to it. I thought that was funny, how Jericho tried to hustle Roman into losing the championship. And I think that's it. Because 205 Live we could cover separately, but other than that, I think that's about it when it came to Raw. So Raw's been moving along. Raw's moved along pretty decently. Nothing incredibly special, but Raw's moved along pretty decently.
SmackDown.
Now to SmackDown. And
this show, it's been awesome.
SmackDown, we finally got the Ellsworth AJ match, which wasn't a match, it was more so a beatdown. That Ellsworth ate from AJ. AJ basically gave him the roaring combination and basically pinned him within 10 seconds, so it was no big deal. And then he got ripped apart, which led to Ziggler, which led to the number one contender's fatal four-way match. Ziggler, Ambrose, Miz, and Luke Harper. They were in the fatal four-way match the week prior. And as it turned out, it would be Ziggler winning the match, pinning Ambrose. So Ziggler would be jumped in as a one-on-one match until Baron Corbin stepped in and came after Ziggler, which led to their match, AJ interfering and beating them both up with chairs, led to a triple threat match the following week on SmackDown, which I'll get to in a moment. Let's see here. As we get to the Intercontinental Championship situation, Miz, since Ambrose is not in the WWE title picture, Miz ended up retaining against Apollo Crews, and then Renee Young stepped in and tried to interview Miz, which led to Miz kind of spilling the tea that we already knew was spilled with her dating Dean Ambrose. And Renee Young slapped Miz, and then that's jumped off a firestorm.
Miz is awesome.
Miz is obviously the best mic worker last year, and it's not close with the Miz, who's done tremendous work on the mic. Miz will go on the following week to have his security team and interviewed by Renee Young, and then Ambrose would step in. And you kind of see the coy little smile on Renee's face when Ambrose steps in, and because she knows what's coming. And the beatdown that Ambrose laid out, and then on the security team, and then the walkie-talkie thing was great. So Ambrose and Miz got it moving and got to a championship match, which main evented SmackDown last week. Let's see, tag team championships. The Wyatt family came out of TLC with the belts, but they don't have them anymore. Fatal 4-way match with the former champions Slater and Rhino, American Alpha. Because keep in mind, the Hype Bros are still owed a championship match because Ryder's injured, and Ryder will come back later on because he hurt his knee. So the Hype Bros are owed a championship match. We should also keep that in mind here. With the Fatal 4-way was the Usos, American Alpha, the Wyatts, and Slater and Rhino. Slater and Rhino went out first because Slater got hurt. Slater slipped off the top rope, and it got eliminated by super kick from one of the Usos, so the Slater and Rhino were out. Then the Usos would get pinned by American Alpha as the Wyatts basically stood on the barricade, on the corner the whole time. So it was down to Alphas and Wyatts. Now, like New Day, the Wyatts went under Freebird rules, so it was Harper and Orton who defended the titles, not Bray and Orton, like Bray and Orton won the match, or won the titles and then retained them. This turned into a really good match with the Wyatts and American Alpha. And Alpha somehow won, even though they took beatings. They both of them, especially Jordan, took beatdowns. In the end, it was Grand Amplitude, and they pinned Randy Orton off. A little bit of miscommunication, but Wyatt from Harper and Orton, as Orton was going for a superplex, and Wyatt accidentally knocked him off the corner, knocked off his balance, and threw everything off. In the end, it was Grand Amplitude to Randy Orton, which got it done as Gable pinned Orton to win the titles for American Alpha, which we knew they were tag champions. It was just shocking that they beat the Wyatts to get them. There will be a rematch this coming Tuesday on SmackDown, which I think will be very good. Getting back to and then I'll let you get to the main event later. Let's see here. We've got the other things that happened. Ziggler turned heel. As we mentioned, Ziggler. We'll get to Ziggler in a moment.
Super kick Kalisto and turned heel.
Yeah, after he lost to Baron Corbin. The triple threat between stars. Let's see, other major. Because really, no other major players on the men's scene. Women's scene. Alexa wins. Alexa won the title as the women's championship on SmackDown, and then retained it against Becky Lynch thanks to La Luchadora, who Becky used the week prior to make Alexa tap out. Now, Becky would face La Luchadora last week on SmackDown and actually make some form of a Luchadora tap out, as she went for Twisted Bliss, missed, and then Becky made her tap with the disarmer, revealing herself to be Alexa. Or Becky revealed her to be Alexa, but she could not reveal the real La Luchadora, the first one who actually started the match with Becky. And then Alexa would get a beat down in and get kind of a jump on. But let's not lose sight of the fact that Becky made Alexa tap out again. The other women's storyline between Natalya and Nikki Bella has turned very personal very quickly and very awkward, as they've spilled a whole lot of tea on both sides of the ledger, and then Nikki would promptly drop Natalya with a forearm, basically knocking Natalya out and putting her to sleep. So that was an interesting part after Natalya dropped the line of Nikki dying alone. So she went a route I wasn't expecting, and then Nikki gave her the NyQuil with the elbow. Let's see here. Carmella apparently now with James Ellsworth, which has become Chinella.
Chinella.
I think that's what they call it. I think that's what Otunga called it. Was Chinella.
Oh my God.
Something like that, or Carmelsworth. I think is another way to describe it. Either term is hilarious, and it's
Chinella and
Carmelsworth. I think those are the two terms, and they're both funny. And it's clearly established that Carmella is basically trying to latch with Ellsworth to stay relevant. That's what it screams of, because they have nothing in common, and Carmella's just doing all the talking, and Ellsworth's being taken advantage of. But it's whatever. Back to the IC Championship story, where now we get to the main event of Miz versus Ambrose. Now, Renee wasn't at ringside, but Maurice was. Maurice was in a slapping mood on Tuesday. First, she slapped Ambrose to start the evening after Miz's promo. Then she slapped Renee Young and got fined for it after we get to the scene, after we get to the WWE Championship stuff. She slapped Renee and got fined for that. Then, during the Intercontinental Championship match, which was pretty good as it went, Maurice slapped Ambrose and almost got disqualified, and probably should have gotten Miz disqualified, but Ambrose kind of pleaded with the referee not to, and the referee did not DQ, which was very controversial because you think a disqualification would normally happen here. Ambrose would get hit in the back of the head with the title belt as Miz would try to steal the title, but Ambrose kicked out. And after a skull-crushing finale counter, Ambrose would drop Dirty Deeds onto Miz. Miz loses the Intercontinental Championship to Ambrose, Ambrose's second reign, and then Miz was super pissed on Talking Smack afterward. Yep, Miz was incredibly pissed, and we're going to see more of this, obviously, with Miz and Ambrose, and Renee, and Maurice, and Daniel Bryan, and all of this is going to continue, because this has been very entertaining stuff between the five of them. Now we get a WWE Championship picture. I mentioned the match with the beating with 2 Ellsworth, and the triple threat match that followed it between Corbin, Ziggler, and AJ Styles was
really good.
And this is the best I've seen of Corbin. Thank you, Kane, for working with him, because you're doing great work with him. Keep moving with it, because it's clearly working. And this is the best Baron Corbin I've seen ever. And this is better than NXT Corbin, or just best Corbin I've seen in forever. So then what about that spot with the zigzag?
Oh,
and the zigzag end of day spot where both guys eat those finishers, but kickouts happen. In the end, it was a end of days from Corbin to Ziggler, and then Styles catching Corbin with the phenomenal forearm, and then Styles pinned Ziggler to retain the title. Earlier in the evening, John Cena came back in Chicago, and we saw a little bit of I want to say it's Tanahashi WWE version, but there's a little bit of arrogance.
Doesn't have the theme music.
There's a little bit of arrogance and entitlement to John Cena, and I kind of like this. I kind of like the fact that he's being more honest and being more open. Ace! There's a little bit of that in John Cena.
There is a little bit of that. Go Ace!
A little bit of this flow. Thankfully, he doesn't have the horrible theme music.
Oh my god! it will never get out of my head, at least.
Yeah,
go Ace!
Thank goodness John Cena did his own theme music. We can at least go with that. So yeah, there's a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of entitlement of, hey, I've won 15 titles, I deserve to be here. Whatever. Like I don't need a match to verify that I'm in the number one contender. That was AJ's point on the promo leading into the new year with the contract signing, and AJ dropped some heat on Cena, and then Cena responded back with some heat, with some verbal heat. The line about, when you look in the mirror, you'll never be, in Hollywood, you'll never be as good as The Rock, and in the ring, you'll never be as good as me, line that AJ dropped on Cena, was like, ooh, okay, it was a good heat. And then AJ dropping heat on The Rock, too. That also kind of got lost in the shuffle, about how he said The Rock was phony, and how The Rock claimed that he loves WWE and never shows up until it's like WrestleMania time. So that was AJ dropping some subtle heat on The Rock was also entertaining. I'd like to see that. Like, if AJ battled Rock, I'd love to see that. That would be all-time awesome. So we saw that, and then Corbin came in to step up a notch, to step to Cena. AJ would get a little bit of a jump on him from behind, but we saw a little bit of Corbin and Cena dialogue, and Cena seems up for the challenge. I want to see this. Corbin v. Cena next week. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I'm looking forward to Corbin versus John Cena. That's going to be really good.
And then
the only other thing left is that Taker and Michaels will both be on Raw. We'll see what they do, but Taker and Michaels will be on Raw, and
probably to announce the WrestleMania in New Orleans.
And then Goldberg and Reigns end up spearing Strowman, as Strowman declared himself into the Rumble, and Jericho declared himself into the Rumble. So we see where that's going. So from the Royal Rumble standpoint, we have from Raw, we've got all 3 members of New Day, we've got Braun Strowman, we've got Chris Jericho, and I think that's the main players at this moment in time in the Royal Rumble match. On SmackDown, Baron Corbin was the first SmackDown entrant into the Royal Rumble match. So that's where we are with both shows. NXT-wise, not much happened, quite honestly, because they basically just replayed the 2 tour shows overseas. Some highlights included both title matches with Shinsuke and Joe, where Shinsuke won the title back and then retained it in the cage. DIY versus TM61 was really good. It was good. And then DIY versus Tozawa and Tajiri was good. So DIY retaining the titles. As we get closer to this Wednesday, where Revival get their rematch with DIY, and I can't wait for that. That's going to be incredibly entertaining. Let's see here. We saw Asuka defend against Nia Jax. She retained, of course. Ember Moon, which she does call that move the Eclipse, that twisting corkscrew stunner she does, win the triple threat with Liv Morgan and Billie Kay. And that was a lot of that was pretty much the major stuff that happened on the 2 shows overseas. Now they're back in Orlando this week. And we'll see the match with DIY and the Revival. The rematch is going to be really entertaining. That's basically it NXT wise. And Explain 205 Live with the main players of Kendrick. Well, not necessarily Kendrick. We got the Green Mist from Tajiri. But of Neville, Swan, Perkins, and then Gallagher has been hilarious. And
The duel
was just brilliant. That was so funny. And then Darwin, Alexander, and Alicia with all that good stuff. So that's pretty much the.
I just did my No I Am Dar impression.
Yeah, and it's the duel with Davari, and then the No I'm Dar with Cedric Alexander and Alicia, that whole thing. So yeah, that stuff continued to carry on going forward. So that's pretty much WWE.
It's improving.
Yeah, 205 is getting better. Yeah, so the Raw main event is Owens and Reigns with Jericho in the cage in the Rumble, and then Styles and Cena for the title for the WWE Championship on SmackDown's end. So those are the 2 main events, and then Bayley versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship is the other match in the Royal Rumble match with Goldberg, Lesnar, and the players I just mentioned earlier.
Now, year-end awards. This is that time of year.
Yep.
So, first, we're going by the Wrestling Observer criteria here of all the categories.
Yep.
And, yeah. So, we have the Luthez Ric Flair Award.
Which is the Wrestler of the Year.
And all criteria. This is open to pro wrestlers for a combination of everything for being both important and influential this year in a positive manner from a business perspective, combining both box office impact as well as strong match quality in worked matches. And the 3 that Cage Side Seats has, the top 3 were AJ Styles, Tetsuya Naito, and Chris Hero. With honorable mentions Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Matt Hardy, and The Miz. With my... And where's Okada? Where's Okada? Where's Okada?
That's what anyone else you want to put on the list. Okada had a tremendous year as well last year. I don't mind it. I don't mind this list. I don't mind the people on it. I would have swapped Naito for Okada. I would agree with you there.
No, I'm saying Naito should be swapped for Hero.
Oh, okay. You think Hero should be 4th? Okay.
Yeah, Hero should be 4th.
You think Hero's 4th? Okay, fair enough.
I'm putting Naito ahead of Okada. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. AJ definitely was the best in WWE. I think he had a tremendous year. The second he stepped in, he was big match player status from the rip. So my winner actually probably would be AJ Styles.
My winner is AJ Styles,
the way
too.
He's had classics with Roman and with Cena, great matches and stuff with Ellsworth and Ambrose. He's had very good matches with Jericho. Pretty much anything AJ touched was gold this year or last year. I think that goes a testament to how AJ immediately jumped in to WWE's waters and proved that he could swim.
And Tetsuya Naito selling the merch that he does, being the main event player that he does.
He stepped his game up and he won the world title, the new IWGP world title, and kept it for a few months from Okada until Okada got it back. But Naito had a tremendous year as well, and now the Intercontinental Champion. I think he will certainly do some things with that belt.
I get what you're saying with Chris Hero, what this article is saying about Chris Hero being the top guy in the indie scene, but I put Okada over him.
Hero's had a tremendous year with a whole lot of main players that he wrestled all over the globe in big matches. It was in one span of a weekend. He beat Sabre and Shibata in a span of a weekend or something like that. It was And Hero is now parlayed everything that he's done over the last year and couple years, and we'll get to Hero later on in the coming weeks, where Chris Hero is going back to a place where he's been before. Honorable mentioned, the women, Sasha and Charlotte, their rivalry was tremendous. And both women elevated themselves, women's wrestling and the women's championship, to higher levels. They've done tremendous work. I go Charlotte ahead of Sasha because Charlotte's big. Yeah. Because Charlotte being a big match player, she's established herself as, if there were an ace of the women's division, Raw and SmackDown, it's Charlotte. She's established herself as a big match player and a big pay-per-view match player as well. She's done a tremendous job establishing herself as a heel. And has been, I think, is very good putting her with Bayley. I think that the storyline writes itself with her and Bayley. I think going forward, Charlotte's going to continue to be the ace of that division on Raw.
The Miz.
And then The Miz, whom from night after WrestleMania on, Miz has been tremendous. You can kind of write off the first 3 months of his year, but once he won the Intercontinental Championship from Ryder, Miz has really stepped his game up with Maurice. Maurice coming back for the Miz has been the best thing to happen to him, and he's done a tremendous job. And my favorite rivalry this year would be Miz and Ziggler. It was Miz and Dolph was my favorite rivalry this year, and they complement each other so well with their styles and so well with their charisma and so well with their promos, and they just flow so well with each other. It was such a great rivalry to watch those two go at it, and then Ziggler winning the title from him and the Miz getting it back. I think it made perfect sense. But Miz has really established himself. And back.
Speaking of most improved, number one,
absolutely is the Miz. Absolutely is the Miz for everything I just said. And he always had it on the mic. He was always grade A on the mic. But in the ring, getting back into the ring, not only with his stuff, but adding more intensity, and then Daniel Bryan stuff. Because Miz wrestling with a chip on his shoulder is the best Miz we can get. And he always wrestles better when he's angry. And it's just a special what Miz did in 2016. He had a brilliant year. And I would love to see him back in WWE Championship picture soon enough. Braun Strowman put in work. And Strowman and Corbin, you can say Strowman, if he's working with Big Show, which I believe he is, great work by Big Show. And Corbin, as we mentioned on SmackDown, working with Kane, great work by Kane. The both of them have improved so well and have come so far in the last 2 months. They've done both of them good work. I would love to see both of them go forward. I think Corbin wins a championship next year. I really do. I think Corbin's going to be a champion at some point.
Corbin was awesome.
Corbin was awesome for the last 2 months. He really was. It stepped his game up at a heavy, heavy level. And I'd love to see Corbin going forward as a champion.
Best technical wrestler, even though Zack Sabre Jr. is probably going to run away with this again.
And he should.
They have Freddie Ahai, number one, which is high praise for him.
Yeah, it is.
Number 2, Drew Gulak. Number 3, Jack Gallagher.
I love Gallagher on 205. I really do. He's becoming my favorite cruiserweight. He really is. I love his swag. I love his charisma. I hope he doesn't get a concussion because of those headbutts. But I love Gallagher on 205. I think Sabre should win the award. I think Sabre is all-around year with all of his matches all over the place.
I'll go.
In every stage. I'll go Sabre.
I'll go Sabre 1, Ahai 2, Gallagher 3.
That's about right.
Most overrated. And I agree with this list. From what Cody's shown in 2016, not
what he just did. Fair, yeah, that's probably fine. I can live with Cody 1, even though Cody's stuff with Bola was good. But
even though I'll switch Aaron Rex with Samoa Joe, I don't think Samoa Joe.
Yeah, no, Joe shouldn't be here. Joe should not be here. I'll go. Yeah, I agree with you, Aaron Rex. And then Timothy Thatcher was their number 1.
Oh, he's so boring.
Yeah, it was not very good. Not very good of him. Yeah, Cody, other than Bola, Cody wasn't that special. I did kind of like his match with Lethal, though, from Final Battle. I thought that was fine. But, yeah, Cody wasn't that great. But I think Cody's going to have a good 2017 with Bullet Club. I think he's in the right place. Well, this
change from mid-year Chris Jericho, Brock Lesnar, and Charlotte. They're not overrated.
Nope.
Not in contention. Roman Reigns.
Roman's quality of work.
No. Don't even mention him in overrated.
Yeah, that's the same. Roman's quality of work, Charlotte's quality of work, Jericho's quality on the mic, who you could argue Jericho's the Raw MVP since the brand split. You could still argue it because of how Jericho's kept himself relevant on the microphone and with all of his stuff in the ring. You could argue it's a 2-horse race to me for that between Jericho and Charlotte as Raw's MVP since the brand split.
SmackDown. Best weekly television show following.
Easy. Yeah, because SmackDown.
Talking Smack.
Those have been amazing. And they've been amazing. And Talking Smack's been perfect for Miz to establish himself on an even higher plane with his stuff with Daniel Bryan. It's been tremendous. And then the stare down with Styles and Cena and the whole thing with Corbin. Talking Smack has done tremendous work. And it's been very compelling. Must-watch television. Cruiserweight Classic was awesome in the summertime. That was tremendous stuff. Ronaldo and Daniel Bryan were the right to call it. That was awesome from the rip. And the classics you saw there with Cedric and Ibushi and Kendrick and Ibushi. Ibushi obviously MVP of the tournament. And the Perkins stuff was great. You saw some stuff there. And the Ciampa and Gargano was brilliant too.
Best non-wrestler. Stokely Hathaway, Ali from TNA, and Maurice. I would put Maurice number 1.
I go Maurice 1, yeah.
I'll go Stokely 2. I love Stokely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go Vanguard 1. I'm going to vote for the drone.
Okay.
I'll vote for the drone.
You go Vanguard as number 3.
Yes.
I go Maurice too, because Maurice's impact on Miz has been brilliant, and then Maurice doing her thing as well has been entertaining. So I go Maurice.
I'll just go with Broken Matt Hardy's family, because Broken Matt Hardy's...
Yeah, that's also been good. That's an honorable mention. Yeah, Broken Matt Hardy, because Hardy's had a big year too.
TNA is...
Oh yeah, we should also mention, didn't Dixie Carter step down?
Yeah,
we should mention that. Dixie Carter stepped down
as chairman.
And apparently Jeff Jarrett's coming back to the company. So
to book.
Yeah, so that's what happened in TNA. We should mention that too.
Best major wrestling show. We have Mercury Rising. How is Wrestlw Kingdom out on this?
Yeah, I go Wrestlw Kingdom 10, and then NXT TakeOver Dallas, and I go the Bola Night 2. I put in this list too.
Yeah, Bola Night
2. I go Bola Night 2, Kingdom 10, and TakeOver Dallas is 1, 2, and 3. I go Kingdom 10
I agree.
1.
Worst promotion of the year, Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor dropped. They really dropped last year for reasons we can't understand or explain. As much as we love some of the matches, Ring of Honor definitely did take a step back. And TNA took a minor step up. And going forward, we'll see what happens with TNA. But Ring of Honor definitely did take a step back this year.
Best gimmick hashtag.
And Broken Matt Hardy was brilliant.
Broken Matt Hardy, even though I'll say the villain Marty Skrull deserves the accolade.
Broken Matt Hardy was brilliant. That was all the stuff he did, the deletions, the worst videotape wrestling stuff we saw all year with the whole thing with him and Jeff. It was tremendous. Which WWE kind of sort of ripped off of the Wyatts and New Day thing. That was really good. But Broken Matt Hardy was great.
Delete.
And he put himself on and put himself as effectively the face of TNA. He put himself on in big time level there. So Matt Hardy wins that one.
Then worst gimmick, the cabinet.
Why was that a thing? JBL did it fine with his version of it, but why was this a thing? Why did this happen? Like, what was the point of this? This wasn't good. This was just not good.
Yeah. Yeah, they were lazy and pointless.
Yeah.
Best Booker. Vince McMahon and Ryan Ward.
They have done on all 3 shows, and they've Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. They've really improved Raw, and SmackDown's been must see every week since this brand split. And NXT has been NXT and has really kept it basically at the same level as they moved on from the Finn Balor era to the Shinsuke era, and the tag match.
They're talking McMahon and Ward for SmackDown.
Yeah, and they've done tremendous work there. Vincent and Ward, they've done tremendous work.
I would go McMahon, Ward 1.
Yeah.
Gato 2.
Gato 2, yeah.
How can you say Gato's not in contention after what just happened?
Well, obviously this doesn't count. Remember, this doesn't count.
I know, but
he did a very good job with New Japan.
And Gabe Sapolsky.
Yeah, he did a good job with New Japan. He did a good job with, obviously, G1 was great last year, and Wrestlw Kingdom 10 was great last year, and the Super Juniors and all the other stuff that he did. I think he still did a very good job.
Worst match of the year goes to Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose.
You gonna put this over Triple H Reigns?
Ooh.
I wouldn't.
Or the Shelly Martinez Rebel match.
That works too. So I'm not gonna put at least Ambrose Jericho ended well. I'm not gonna over Triple H.
But that was bad.
Yeah,
though.
no, it took too long. The match took too long. But I'm not gonna put over Triple H Reigns, which was just unwatchable. We expected all the spots that happened. It just wasn't that good. It just wasn't entertaining because we all knew how this was gonna play out. But yeah, I go Triple H Reigns as the worst match.
The worst major wrestling show was Ring of Honor Best in the World 622, followed by WWE Clash of Champions.
Really, yeah, Clash of Champions really wasn't good. It just nothing popped on that show. Just nothing popped. Yeah, I won't disagree with it though. I won't disagree with this how they did it. But yeah, Clash.
Yeah, the best thing on the show was the Kevin Sullivan angle with BJ Whitmer and Steve Corino.
Yeah, there's nothing popped in those 2 shows.
Yeah, so we have best television announcer. Corey Graves.
Corey Graves is brilliant.
Lenny Leonard.
And Tom Phillips.
Phillips
finished second.
Brad Stutz.
Yeah, Corey and Phillips on NXT, they complement each other so well. It's really, really good what they do. And then Phillips, as kind of the host of SmackDown, if you will, doing his thing there with Ronaldo, Otunga, and JBL. Although I like Otunga and not Otunga, Ronaldo and JBL. I like them together too. But I like but Phillips and Graves have been a great 2-man combo on NXT, and they should keep that moving.
Match of the year, they have Revival DIY 1, TakeOver Toronto. 2, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns.
And 3, Gulak and Sabre.
From Evolve to V3. I have Tanahashi Okada 1.
I have Sabre Ospreay 1 for WrestleMania weekend.
2, Revival DIY.
I agree with you there.
And 3, I have Naito Omega.
My 3 is Zayn Shinsuke from TakeOver Dallas.
I thought Naito Omega was so much better.
Naito Omega was good. That was a great semi in the G1 semis. That is in my top 10 list. Absolutely, yes. And actually, and fourth to me would be Styles and Cena from SummerSlam. I really enjoyed that match as well. I think that was a brilliant match to put AJ on, and really put AJ on as like that full plane that these guys made here to stay. And Cena obviously doing what Cena does.
Most underrated, Donovan Dijak, Neville, and Leo Rush.
Neville had a late run, but I don't know if I put Neville on this list. I would swap Dalton Castle for Neville. I think Castle had a very good year as well. So
Ring of Honor has so many underrated guys.
True. And Dijak, I think, has got big. I'm talking about Corbin, like big man, like Corbin and Strowman having big years this year. Dijak's another one that's going to have a big year, I think.
Yeah. Then we have Best Brawler, Chris Hero.
Yeah. I can go Hero 1.
Shibata, and Su Yang, who is a women's wrestler.
I go Hero 1. I can totally live with that.
I'll go Hero 1, Shibata 2, Sami Callihan 3. Others in contention were Sami Callihan, Tommy End, and Tomohiro Ishii.
I'd agree with your 3. I don't see any issue with it.
Best on interviews, 1, The Miz.
It's not close. There isn't a close 2 or 3. Miz easily wins this award.
2, they said Alexa Bliss.
I don't see how or why. Although Alexa's good on the mic. I don't see. She shouldn't be this high on this.
3, AJ Styles. AJ Styles should be 2.
AJ's respectable on the mic as well. I like Joe. I put Joe 3. I thought Joe. I loved how he got vicious. And he became a monster on the microphone. I love what Joe did this year.
If you ever read the translation of Testier Deniers, they sound awesome.
Okay. Omega honorable mention for him too, because Omega, like with the press conferences he did and how he did his thing in both English and Japanese, Omega put in work too.
So we have most outstanding wrestler: 1, Chris Hero; 2, Matt Riddle; and 3, AJ Styles.
High praise for Riddle. It's my favorite was Ospreay this year, but AJ in terms of his match rate and quality, I go AJ 1, and then Hero 2, Riddle 3, Hero 2.
I go Hero 1, Ospreay 2, Matt Riddle 3.
I will go Styles, Ospreay, Hero 1, 2, 3. And Ospreay is my favorite this year, so last year, so that's how I would go.
Styles is already winning the Wrestler of the Year.
True. This is most outstanding wrestler in terms of entertaining matches.
Entertaining matches.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm sorry. Ospreay's 1. Ospreay, Styles, Hero is 1, 2, 3 in my case.
Yeah, I just think
that's right. It's different awards. That's right.
Yeah.
It's different. That's like MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Yeah. Tag Team of the Year.
Revival easily wins this award. This was a brilliant year, as we've seen NXT have kind of different stages. Remember, 2014 was about the singles division. How Neville, Zayn, Breeze, Kid, how they kind of elevated the NXT Championship and made it desirable. 2015 was about the women, the 4 horsewomen of Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Alexa, and a little bit of Asuka to end the year as we got towards the Asuka's run. And now last year in NXT was about the tag teams. It was obviously, yes, Enzo and Cass leaving did leave a hole, but then DIY filled it, and you got the Revival, you got Office of Pain, you got TM61, and the tag team division's now the best thing on NXT. Not that Joe and Shinsuke isn't bad, not that Asuka's champion isn't bad, but the tag team has become the best thing in NXT, and the Revival are the main centerpiece as to why they are.
And the DIY second, and I would put the Young Bucks third.
Yeah, I go Bucks over Alpha. Alpha had a nice thing with the Revival, and I love their match and take over the end. But and then Alpha's tag team champions on SmackDown are going to have a brilliant 2017. But yeah, I can go Bucks 3 because the dominance of the Young Bucks everywhere they went, as they've easily become the best tag team not in WWE.
Feud of the year.
And they got it right. I got Ziggler Miz 1 too. I think that was Ziggler Miz was brilliant, and the way they played it off with natural charisma. Miz is a natural heel, Ziggler's a natural face in that situation. I like Ziggler as a heel too. But the way they played this off and the way they did it was so well done. Sasha Charlotte was so even. I had no problem with them being second. Who's third? Ooh, wow, who's third? They have who do they have? They had
DIY Revival.
They had DIY Revival third. I could go Joe Shinsuke third. I can argue even Joe Finn was really good.
Or the Shibata versus
or Shibata, yeah, Shibata's feud
versus the third generation.
Right. Even that makes sense. I just like Joe and Finn better than the other ones. Although Cena Styles was entertaining. I can argue Cena Styles.
Or Reigns Styles.
Or Reigns and Styles was also good. But I would probably argue Joe and Finn. That was my next favorite.
Best flying wrestler. Will Ospreay's going to run away with this.
Ospreay's going to win it, but there's good competition all over the place.
Kamitachi, I would put second, Ricochet third.
Yeah, Dragon Lee's not a bad fourth. You figure eventually you'll see Swan on this stage and Alexander on this stage back for next year. But I think those are the right three.
Promotion of the year, WWE 1, Progress 2, Evolve 3.
WWE stepped their game up everywhere in 2016, which is why I think they're worthy of this award. They have really reestablished themselves as the best company. They've done a tremendous job.
Rookie of the year. This is a good 3.
Yeah, it is.
Matt Riddle. 1. This is just ridiculous, Matt Riddle.
And the first line of it, Matt Riddle, bro. The dude, you know, obviously you have Monster Factory. You've probably seen some of his work there. Riddle was all over the place, and Riddle excelled all over the place. And I think there's special in Matt Riddle, and there's main event star in Matt Riddle wherever he's going to go.
Freddie Yehi is awesome.
Yehi continues. Yehi put in so much work. There's a big future ahead for him as well. I'd love to see what he's going to do going forward, but I think he's going to be a big stage, big name player.
And Leo Rush is freaking awesome.
Leo Rush went crazy sometimes. Leo Rush went bananas.
How can you have more Ronaldo in the worst?
No.
I
get Ronaldo.
I got Joey Styles.
Yeah, Joey Styles should win it. Joey Styles is the right winner. And Josh Matthews is not a play-by-play guy. Josh Matthews is a backstage interview guy. That's unlike Phillips, where Phillips can do play-by-play. Matthews, I don't think can. I think Matthews is much better as a backstage interviewer. But Ronaldo, by no means, should be nowhere near this list. You can argue with Tonga over Ronaldo, but you can't. Ronaldo should not be here.
Yeah. The best wrestling maneuver, I would go with.
I love the Spanish Fly. I love the Ember Moon's move. I love Ember Moon's
moon landing.
No,
the bro mission.
They call it the Eclipse. I love it. I love Ember Moon's. So that would probably win it for me. Is Ember Moon's move.
The GTS Bellhammer combo.
Ooh, I don't know if that's not better than Detonation Kick to me with Perkins, but I will go Ember Moon's Eclipse and then Spanish Fly 2, and then probably Corbin's End of Days.
Worst feud of the year: Undertaker versus Shane McMahon, Triple H Roman Reigns, and Charlotte versus Natalya.
Charlotte and Natalya, they've done it before, so that one kind of got old. Triple H Reigns, I think, was up until WrestleMania. See, there was the problem with this one. If they kept what they did from 2015 and just continued to do that, this would be fine. 2016 post Rumble up until Mania, not good. Very not good. That'd be a worse view. Taker Shane, at least the match had the major spot with Shane jumping off the cell. But I'd probably go Triple H Reigns.
I'll go Taker Shane.
Okay.
Promoter of the year: Jim Smallman, John Bradley, and Glenn Joseph of Progress.
Interesting. They didn't beat the McMahons.
Or Tataki Kadani.
Yeah, I would have gone with the McMahons. I thought WWE did the best job.
I thought Kadani really promoted well.
Okay.
But that's really it.
Yeah, but we accomplished it all in 90 minutes. Not bad.
90 minutes. Yeah, we're doing well.
Yep. So programming on the lounge will return when the campus opens. We'll obviously be able to preview at least recap the first 2 weeks of the playoffs. So I guess playoff predictions. Oh, we should also talk about Ronda Rousey getting this work.
Oh, Ronda Rousey.
Rousey
got murdered.
Rousey got that work from Amanda Nunes. The fight was over from the first punch. It really was, and it only lasted 48 seconds because Rousey ran from half of it.
Or that Gabby fight.
Yeah, that was awful. Good grief, that was not good. But
from the Risen show.
Yeah, that was ugly.
She was running the ropes and she got decked.
She got clocked and the fight was over.
The Japanese woman.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was almost as bad. Still, that was actually worse than Rousey's. Still, Rousey apparently is going to take more time off to heal from the beatdown that she took. And
I don't think she's ever returning.
I think she needs to not return, or at least change her style before she does, because she was not ready for that life. Let's see. Yeah, so that's really it. The playoff predictions.
Let's get the 4 playoff predictions now. Let's dissect the games. Let's do a mini lounge.
Or the 5. If you're going to count the
let's do the bowl games. I'm screwing it because I love college football and football itself.
Honestly, a lot of the non-major bowl games weren't that watchable. To be quite honest with a lot of you. Once we got to the New Year's 6, then we got entertaining.
No, there were some entertaining bowl games in there. I thought the Navy game was entertaining.
Navy's was nice. The Navy, I was saying a lot of them weren't entertaining. That's what I'm saying.
Houston got thrashed by San Diego State. Appalachian State won its first bowl. Old Dominion won its first bowl. Central Michigan got mauled by Tulsa. Western Kentucky
beat up Memphis.
BYU, Wyoming. This was an awesome game. The Idaho Potato Bowl.
La Tech Navy was good, and Idaho and won their game. That was nice. Let's see here.
But Temple lost local.
Temple lost the way forward. They were.
That was a good game.
It turned into a good game, but Temple was for the first half basically spotted the first half to Wake Forest.
Army wins its first bowl in many years.
Army with signature wins back to back. Minnesota barely wanted to play their bowl game and still beat Washington State. Wazoo, what happened to y'all? Come on, yo.
Baylor
rolled Boise State as we knew they were going to. Let's see. Indiana lost to Utah. Indiana put up a fight, though. I'll give them that. Northwestern won the Pinstripe Bowl. Miami destroyed West Virginia. Let's see here. Texas A&M got beat by K-State. Going with K-State there. And then we get serious. We knew Colorado was going to get rolled because of the way they played the big Pac-12 championship game against Washington. They got dominated by OK State. Let's see. South Florida beating South Carolina. Not a bad win, but we expected that to happen. Vitech win their game. Now we get serious. Now we get to the big games. Michigan, Florida State. No Jabril Peppers, but Dalvin Cook put in work. Dalvin Cook has really established himself, has made himself millions after what he did. Indiana was Florida State escaping because Michigan couldn't get the last points in. So Florida State wins the Capital One Orange.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook just made himself a lot of money.
No C.J. McCaffrey, but Stanford didn't need him. Stanford still beat UNC. So, wow, what does it say about UNC? Let's see. The Bull, Darren Barnett from the defensive end from Tennessee, made himself incredibly rich because the Bull he's the defensive end there. He's incredibly dominant. He's got dominant pass rusher written all over him in a 4-3 scheme. He's going to make himself a lot of money. Tennessee won that game. The 2 playoff games were pretty much blowouts as we expected them to because we all had complaints about Washington and Ohio State even being in this situation. Neither showed up. Washington at least scored first in their game, and then Alabama did the rest. Ohio State didn't even score. So there you have it.
And you're mad because you didn't get into the playoffs.
Let's see. I'm still mad about it because let's face it, Penn State. We'll get to Penn State USC because that game will go last and it needs to because that was the best game. Louisville did have their guy in the Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson, who was running for his life from LSU, who didn't have 11 Fournette. Good Lord, Louisville's offensive line is terrible. As LSU dominated that game. Let's see, Georgia Tech beat Kentucky, good win there. Oklahoma disposed of Auburn, as we knew was happening, and Wisconsin beat up Western Michigan, as we knew would happen.
And Florida beat up.
Florida won Bloomin' Onions for everybody because Florida represented the Bloomin' Onion last year.
Yeah.
So Bloomin' Onions are better than coconut shrimp any day of the week. They destroyed Iowa. Thank you, Florida.
And then
now the main event, and these were the rightful best team in the Big Ten versus the rightful best team in the Pac-12. This is the game of the year for the Lounge for the Ladder Awards for 2017. And this was a brilliant game by both teams.
Chris Godwin made himself a lot of money.
Godwin made himself rich. He gave 180, got 180
Saquon Barkley.
Barkley's a junior, so he's got one more year at least. Trace McSorley's a junior. He made himself money. USC's QB is a freshman, and he put in so much work. 480, he'll be a sophomore obviously going into next year, but 480 yards, he was dominant. Adoree Jackson got hurt. Hopefully he didn't cost himself a bunch of money, but he got hurt. Juju Smith-Schuster had a great day as well. Both offenses showed up, and we knew they would. This was a classic in every way, sense, and form. I'm not even mad that we lost it. I'm disappointed that we blew the 14-point lead. I'm disappointed that McSorley threw the interceptions he threw, although the first two were miscommunication because Tompkins, I don't know where his head was. The third one should have been thrown on the previous play because the ball lofted in the air too high, and Gesicki couldn't get to it, and then Godwin overran it, which, had the ball been thrown with more strength, like McSorley we are accustomed to seeing him throw to, Penn State wins the game 56-49, not 52-49 loss. Because Godwin got behind the defense and would have scored. There's no doubt he would have scored. It's just the ball lofted too high in the air.
Chris Godwin had 180 yards.
And Saquon Barkley had 194. And McSorley, see, I don't fault anyone for the loss. USC scored the game-winning field goal. That's just what it was. It was an even game until the field goal. I don't fault anyone for this. This was a classic, and it doesn't take away from Penn State's year. We won 9 straight getting to this game. It was a great game, and USC set themselves up next year as they're going to be players, and Penn State's going to be players. This isn't the last of either of these two teams. They're the rightful best team that won the Big Ten and won the Pac-12, and the USC didn't win the Pac-12, but they're the rightful best team in the Pac-12 because they beat the two teams in the Pac-12 title game. So both teams will be back, and in the main event of all the rematch, Clemson, Alabama. I'm going to pick, even with Lane Kiffin leaving,
I think Clemson's winning.
I'm not going to bet against Saban. I'll go Alabama. Now I'm going to get to the playoff games. And by the way, I'll have the top 5 ranking for next year, leading at the end of this. The winner of the title game 1, the loser 2. USC should be 3. I would probably go Florida. I'm torn between Florida State, Penn State. I think they're 4 and 5. I think they need to be 4 and 5. And then, and Ohio State 6.
Michigan's losing a lot.
Michigan's losing all their defense except for Peppers, and Peppers can leave. And then Jake Butt's leaving. So that's why I say Michigan's going to drop. Wisconsin should be kind of sort of high. But my top 5 is the winner of the title game, the loser of the title game, USC, Florida State, even though losing Cook, and Penn State. Those are my top 5.
Raiders and Texans.
The battle of the backup quarterbacks.
This is going to be ugly.
This is going to be terrible. Jeez. I'm torn.
Why did ESPN draw this game?
This is the least desirable of the 4. That's why ESPN got stuck with this game. They got stuck with it. That's what it was. Because CBS was going to take Dolphins Seahawks. That's at least entertaining. And Lions Seahawks go to Al Michaels and NBC. Al Michaels and Chris Collins with NBC. And then Fox gets the Giants game. This is going to be ugly. With a respectable quarterback, I'd go, even with a quarterback that's played even to Matt Moore's degree, I'd pick the Raiders. The problem is Connor Cook was terrible against Denver. And Houston's defense is actually very good.
I'll go Houston.
I'll go Houston too, because at least Lamar Miller's going to be able to run the ball. So I will go with the Texans. Detroit gets punished for basically getting beat down by Dallas and then getting beat by the Packers. So they get their punishment. Yeah, they made the playoffs because Washington folded, but they go to Seattle in the House of Doom.
This is not going to end well.
Yeah, Matt Stafford's had a great year and has done a great year with comebacks. And yes, this is not the Seattle team that you've seen in years past because the lack of Earl Thomas is devastating. But I'm going to go with Seattle anyway because their defense will just be able to beat up Matt Stafford. So I got Seattle.
Then we have Dolphins, Steelers. Your keys.
Keys of the Dolphins. What did we learn from the last time we played them? Last time Miami beat them 30-15, and Jay Ajayi gave them 204 yards. You got to basically rinse, lather, and repeat. Running games travel in the playoffs. You run the ball. You keep Matt Moore. Although Matt Moore can make big plays against a Steeler defense, a Steeler secondary, not terrible, but not great. You can throw on Pittsburgh's defense. And my thinking is with all the receivers we have, and Landry and Stills and Parker, Moore can go downfield. I think you got to set the tone early with the run game. You know Pittsburgh's going to jam the box. I would even take a shot first play and play action. If Steelers going to look like they're going to rush 8, they're going to have 8 in the box. I can play action first play and take a shot and see what they do. My key and that's offensively, ball control, keep the ball the way you did in the first time we played them. Keep the ball. Defensively, beat up Ben Roethlisberger. It worked the first time, and I think it works. It has to work this time for us to win and get to New England. That's the way I think we have to beat them.
Then we have Giants and Packers.
Giants, Packers, two of the hottest teams in NFC. It's going to be hard to envision one of them being one and done and not getting a playoff win. But Green Bay, like they did before, and all these matchups except for Detroit, Seattle rematches, by the way. I think the Giants, as good as their defense has played, their offense isn't very good. So I got the Packers here. I think Aaron Rodgers is just too hot right now. Yeah. I got Green Bay. So I have Green Bay going on to face Atlanta, and I have the Giants again. No. Seattle facing Atlanta. I'm sorry. Seattle facing Atlanta, and Green Bay faces Dallas. That's my round 2. Now, the first time that Seattle played Dallas, the first time Green Bay played Dallas, Zeke Elliott had a $159 and scored twice, and Green Bay got rolled. This one's in Dallas. I don't think this is going to be that much different. I think the Dallas offensive line is too strong. And you're giving them 2 weeks rest. Even though Randy Gregory decided to be stupid and get himself suspended again for another year, I still think the Cowboys win the game. So I got Dallas.
You know, he played in the Eagles game.
Yep, he did play in the Eagles game. Romo scored a touchdown in the game, by the way. But I got the Cowboys winning that game against the Packers, and I got Seattle and Atlanta. The game's in Atlanta, and it should be. Atlanta got ripped off the first time they played, and I think this will continue. I think Atlanta will get the rematch. I think Atlanta wins the rematch here. So I have Atlanta v. Dallas NFC Championship game. Atlanta, I think, is good enough to beat them. But I don't think their defense is big enough to deal with Zeke Elliott. So I have the Cowboys winning the NFC Championship. So AFC. So I gave you Miami-Houston. Miami goes to Foxborough. Too much in the elements with Brady of giving 2 weeks rest. Miami's injuries, I think, catch up to them. So although the key to the game, obviously, to beat up Brady, we were able to do that last week. And in Foxborough, that's going to be too daunting, I think, for Gase. Although I think he should be Coach of the Year. I'll give you my award winners in the NFL in a moment. Kansas City versus Houston. I think Casey's just too dominant. I got the Chiefs. I think the defense is too good right now. Alex Smith's playing pretty well. Suddenly they have an offense that can beat people deep. I think Kansas City wins that game.
Championship games.
I actually have Kansas City in the upset. I got the Chiefs coming out of the AFC. The way Kansas City's playing right now and the way that their defense is playing, they have a defense that travels.
I don't see it.
I got KC coming out of the AFC.
I got the NFL's wet dream.
Cowboys and Patriots.
Yes.
I got Cowboys Chiefs. And I think as much as everyone would want to cheer for, wow, well, think about that for a second. You got Andy Reid winning a Super Bowl, or you have Dallas Cowboys winning a Super Bowl. You choosing Andy or you choosing Dallas in that situation? And in your situation, you have Patriots Cowboys. You're gonna have the Patriots. You're gonna have the Cowboys.
I'm gonna have Patriots.
No, I'd rather see Dallas win it. Well,
of course you would, because you're a Miami fan. I'm not a Miami fan.
There you go.
There you go. Fan. So, the Andy Reid decision. That's hard.
Yeah,
that's gonna be so disheartening.
I know. I think we're gonna see Kansas City and Dallas. I think that's the Super Bowl. I think it's Kansas City and Dallas.
And who's gonna win
in that situation? Dallas. I think it's too. Actually. Yeah, Dallas. I think Dallas wins it. In that situation, I'm going to go. I think the Cowboys are overall the best offensive team with a defense that's bend but don't break, and defense is actually playing better than what we expected them to. Right. I think Dallas is too much. I think Dallas is just overall the best team.
I have Dallas too.
And then lastly, in terms of awards for the NFL season, offensive rookie Ezekiel Elliott, defensive rookie. I will go. Who did I have winning defensive rookie? I had. Who was the defensive rookie? I thought about this. Who was defensive rookie? Because Beasley's in second year, so I can't go Beasley. I'm trying to think of good defensive rookies. Artie Burns didn't do that well in Pittsburgh. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Joey Bosa. That's what I thought about. Joey Bosa. Bosa defensive rookie of the year. He came in. He even missed a couple games, and Bosa put in work. So I will go Joey Bosa defensive rookie of the year. I think he was just too good. Jalen Ramsey did a very good job. He should be second, but Joey Bosa overall done a tremendous job. So I got Bosa winning defensive rookie. Offensive player of the year is I go Zeke Elliott again. I think Elliott David Johnson, offensive player of the year. Johnson's actually his stats outweigh Zeke's, so I will go David Johnson, offensive player of the year.
He had a nasty injury.
It's not as bad as we thought it would be, but it's still not good. But I got David Johnson winning offensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year is a two-man race between Beasley and Von Miller. Miller didn't do anything in December, while Beasley came on like a raging bull in December. I'm going to go Miller escaping against Beasley. But
Or Landon Collins.
Landon Collins is another one that might deserve it, too. But I will
Khalil
go...
Mack.
And Khalil Mack did a very good work.
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald did very good work, too.
Ron Miller and Vic Beasley.
I will go with Miller. I think Miller's slightly over Beasley, and then Collins finishes third. That's my...
I think Landon Collins wins.
Okay. And then did the offensive player, the defensive coach of the year, I will go with Adam Gase.
Front runner.
That's not a front runner move. Picking Belichick or Jason Garrett is a front runner move. Think about what. To me, it's between Gase and Jason Garrett. Those are the two. I think it's down to those guys. On Garrett's end, 4th round rookie quarterback, rookie running back, who we knew was going to be great. And Dallas was 4-12 last year and jumped to 13-3. Well, really 13-2, and they didn't care about the Eagles game. So I understand your thinking. I understand your reasoning for thinking Jason Garrett. And for all those going to pick Garrett for Coach of the Year, I get it. You think of Adam Gase. Miami was 6-10 and in disarray. Meanwhile,
He started 1-4.
we started 1-4, and the one should have been a loss considering the way we played against Cleveland. Granted, we outplayed Seattle and got beaten Seattle. So 1-4 either way, and then we win 6 straight and 9 out of 10. Oh, granted 11 because we lost the last game, and we make the playoffs. And a team that a lot of us were expected to go 4-12, 6-10. A lot of people picked us to go 4-12, 6-10, anywhere in that range. Keep in mind, Gase is the rookie head coach, still trying to figure this out. And then you lose Rashard Jones, you lose Mike Pouncey, you lose Tannehill late, and you have to win 2 games to get in the playoffs after you lose Tannehill. Well, 3, because Tannehill got lost in the Cardinal game, and we still had to win that game. So you had to win 3 without Ryan just to get in the playoffs. And we made it, even with all the injuries we have. That's why I have Adam Gase as Coach of the Year.
Okay.
Though I could argue Cam Wake as Comeback Player of the Year, I'm going to go Jordy Nelson. I will go Nelson over the torn ACL and how he put in work. He led the league in touchdown catches. Nelson had a brilliant year. So I can't, as much as I could argue Cam Wake for being a starter on the Pro Bowl and having 11.5 sacks and being so dominant in the wins that we had, where wherever Cam Wake got a sack, we got to win, pretty much. I got to go Jordy Nelson as Comeback Player of the Year.
And Offensive Lineman of the Year, Zach Martin.
Him and Tyron Smith have become 1-1A on the best offensive line in the game, and they're both the best at their respective positions. I wanted Zach Martin when Miami had a chance, when he was almost there to Miami's pick. Remember, I wanted plan A of that draft was Martin, plan B of that draft was Courtney Upshaw, and they were taking back-to-back before Miami could get him. And it was just like, oh, why? I wanted either or both. And both were gone before we could get him. And this is the reason why I think Zach Martin's a brilliant guard. He's done a tremendous job playing at left guard.
MVP.
It's a 3-man race between Brady, Ryan, and Rodgers. I have Zeke Elliott 4th.
Ryan who?
Matt Ryan.
Oh.
And Brady, take out the whole 12 versus 16, and New England was 3-1 and the 3 that he missed. Granted, New England won those 3 games with 2 different QBs. I think that kind of takes Brady down a slight peg.
I think Aaron Rodgers wins.
Rodgers carried his Packers to the playoffs. Absolutely carried them to the playoffs with a defense that was
I would go Rodgers 1, Zeke 2,
okay.
Matt Ryan 3.
I go Matt
disqualify Tom Brady.
I go Matt Ryan 1. I go Ryan 1, Rodgers 2, Brady 3. I think Matt Ryan did a brilliant job this year with the Falcons and leading a sneaky, great offense with weapons everywhere. Matt Ryan did a brilliant job of leading them, and then he beat Rodgers head to head. So that's the why I put Ryan over Rodgers. He beat Aaron head to head. So I go Matt Ryan 1, Aaron Rodgers 2, Tom Brady 3. So that'll do it for us.
Yes, we did a mini sports lounge within Get in the Ring.
Yep, there you go. So
Yep. So it is 11:51 on Montco Radio, where music reminds me, and it recorded.